Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Planet Destiny. TBL here, along with Story Machine, and today we're going to be talking about some of the changes that we just got in the Bungie Sandbox Ride-Along livestream that they just concluded over on Twitch. They talked about a lot of changes, not too in-depth, but a lot of changes coming to both weapon balance and some changes coming to class balance and special ammo economy and the Crucible as a whole. There's a lot to unpack here, but a lot of good stuff in there. And we're going to be diving on in. Story, how did you feel about the stream, man?
Mate, I'm sitting here wearing a party hat, tooting a party horn, naked right now.
You too?
Yeah. We're brothers from another mother, man. It's like a retro year one revisit, isn't it?
It really is. And, once we got past some of the initial sections, it just delved back into the Bungie essentially saying, okay, this weapon class was better in year one.
So what have we got then? What are they doing to shotguns this time around?
Well, first and foremost, they are going to be decreasing the overall magnetism, I do believe, when you're hip firing on shotguns. What that is, it's a fancy way of saying they're lowering or eliminating aim assist on shotguns when you hip fire with them.
That's like a very big change, and I don't see that is in any way kind of like a massively negative one. It basically increases the skill gap, which I'm completely 100% up for. But
they gave us a little bit of a demonstration there. I do believe they decreased the magnetism a little bit when you're ADSing, so you don't stick so heavily on targets when you're dragging your cursor over them. You're going to have to learn to fire at the correct time. And for the removal of aim assist, any aim assist at all when hip firing, it means if you're going to be using your shotgun as a hip fire weapon, which a lot of skating juggernaut titans do, they just kind of get up close and personal and then just unload their weapon on you. You're going to have to do a lot more aiming, which it's kind of an indirect nerf because it is making the weapon a bit more difficult to use, but you're right, it's raising the skill ceiling so that you can't just kind of go in with a shotgun and have an easy mode encounter anymore.
Because they haven't stopped there, have they? They haven't stopped there with that.
This list goes on and on. Next up, they talk about how they removed all precision damage from shotguns. Now, this is something I was not expecting. They talked about how people complain that shotguns can sometimes be inconsistent. You feel like you're within range of a target and you're not getting that one-shot kill. And they basically broke it down to being an error with way the pellets were spreading and not registering as precision hits. So what they've decided to do is basically remove precision damage entirely from all shotguns, save the Chaperone and the Universal Remote, which of course utilize slug rounds.
Yeah, we've got pulse rifles up next. Now, this has been a bone of contention for quite some time because we've had some very powerful pulse rifles topping the primary weapon charts on the scoreboard on all the Crucible activities. So, we've got pulse rifles reduced fire rate, or the rate of fire for low impact pulses such as the Mandatory Dragon, aka the Clever Dragon, and the Grasp of Malok, or Malak, however you like to pronounce it. And this has been decreased by 7.7%, or one frame, as it can be put into mathematics. We've also had high caliber rounds nerfed to do much less flinching.
So not only are they reducing the effect of high caliber rounds, they're reducing the effect of flinch on pulse rifles, and they're slowing down your rate of fire for that Grasp of Malok and Clever Dragon.
They've also had their magazine size reduced by, is it six rounds as well?
About 6. So if you're running that classic braced frame combination to get you maximum stability, your Clever Dragon is now going to have 18 rounds in the mag, which, with how fast that fires, you had better land every single shot.
Yeah, man. Get your reload speed for pulse rifle gauntlets on the ready if that was your favourite Clever Dragon, for sure. Jump shotting with pulse rifles now, is that going to be a thing?
We'll see. I'm getting my MLG clips ready.
So that's wrapped up pulse rifles then, basically. We're on to what's next.
Auto rifles. Now, we didn't get anything super specific, but they did go through these 2 base points. They have increased the base damage of the lowest tier of rate of fire auto rifles. So think your Suros Regime, your Shadow Price, your Grim Citizen, and they have increased the critical multiplier from 1.25 to 1.3. Now, we didn't get a specific damage number for it, but just watching the footage, These things, it looked like they're basically back at almost their vanilla year 1.0 pre-February 2015 auto rifle nerf level, because the Genesis chain that they were using, which of course utilizes the ability focus fire to increase damage but lower rate of fire, was dealing about 35 damage per precision shot at very close range. If you'll remember, back in year 1, before auto rifles got initially nerfed, the Suros regime dealt 36 damage per precision shot. This makes me a very happy camper, because in my opinion, auto rifles were never better than they were back in vanilla Destiny, before the Dark Below came out, before the February 2015 nerf. And while again, we don't have the specific damage numbers, just going off of the numbers we saw on stream, it looks like these things are going to be back, and they are going to be back with a vengeance.
Absolutely excited to see what that has in store for us. And next up is hand cannons, my number one favorite love in the game. The very first time I ever played Destiny, the first thing I picked up when I went to the gunsmith was a hand cannon, and I was delighted to see such fun stuff in the game. And we're having some very significant changes here. The first up is significantly increasing the initial first shot accuracy to year 1 values. I think a lot of hand cannon users are very excited to see this.
Absolutely.
We've had the reduction of the base range by 5 meters, and this also affects aim assistance and the damage drop-off. This was probably the most logical or the most desired or predicted change by a lot of the hand cannon fans out there.
Hopefully the buff to auto rifles will help to keep hand cannons in check like they did back in vanilla Destiny. But I think overall this is a pretty fantastic change. The change to initial first shot accuracy was in year 1, in my opinion, at its best. And while they say there were no changes made for Bloom on spamming shots, they kind of showed off a few things there. Like they did a little bit of a range test, and they were hitting from very far away, of course, at less damage because they're enforcing damage range fall off. But they were firing at kind of the normal rate of fire that you would see in Crucible right now and landing all of their shots. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on with Bloom on spamming shots. The only gun that I saw missing shots when it was being spammed was the last word. And they took a bit of time out to specifically mention that, hey, if you're using the last word and you're ADSing, if you're spamming your shots, you're going to miss. If you're hip firing, you're going to hit.
Right. I mean, that was good because people had asked for that, a buff to the last word hip fire, you know. So I can't wait to try out all my favorite hand cannons as well as the exotics as well. I wonder how Thorn is going to be affected by all these changes as well. You know, is that going to make a comeback? But those aren't the only changes that are being made at the moment. We've also got some changes to special ammo, haven't we? What have we got then?
Oh man, they are making quite a few changes to special ammo, so we are going to quickly move through this. Players will now start matches with special ammo, but you will now lose all special ammo upon death. It's going to be treated sort of like Trials of Osiris in between rounds. When you start a match, you're going to have special. But when you first die, you are going to lose that special. Now that is a massive, massive change to the way Crucible works right now. And thankfully you'll still be able to get around it with stuff like Invective and Icebreaker or running a sidearm. But for the vast majority of people who are running shotguns and sniper rifles and fusion rifles, that's going to be a huge change. Now to help compensate for that, they're going to be reducing the timer for special crates so that they spawn every 60 seconds. Every minute there's going to be special ammo on the map. Personally, I think these two changes balance each other out really, really well.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
I first heard about losing special ammo after death, I was like, oh no, this is going to, I mean, one, it's going to really promote primary play. You're going to have to use your primary, which I love about that. But that's a huge change for the way Destiny has worked. But by increasing the spawn rate of special crates, that's a good way to balance it out, in my opinion.
The sidearms haven't been... they don't appear to have been changed. They did mention that sidearms haven't really been touched, but they will still spawn with ammo upon death. So we'll see a bit more sidearm gunplay. It's going to make them a commodity. We've also got some changes for the classes. This was quite surprising. We've got Hunter changes. Hungering Blade for Blade Dancer now immediately grants health instead of regenerating health. Shields no longer regenerate on kill. This was a very shocking change for Blade Dancers out there because we were pretty much expecting a bit of a buff for the Blade Dancer Super because it was kind of needing one, in my opinion.
A little on the weak side right now.
Yeah, it was on the weak side. And this is a very shocking change, quite odd. Blade Dancer wasn't a problem in the powerful kind of sense or the overpowered kind of sense. So this change does appear very odd and out of place.
Yeah, and to give the listeners an idea of what exactly this means, before, or rather right now in the game, if it's before February 14th, 2017, if you utilize Hungering Blade on a Blade Dancer, the moment you get a kill that triggers Hungering Blade, it restores your HP and your shield simultaneously. Yep. Now what's going to happen is when you get a kill with Hungering Blade, it's only going to restore your HP. And if your HP was already near max or maybe at half shield, any amount that it restores over the maximum amount of your health will go into your shield. You're not going to get them both back instantly anymore.
Yeah, that's
very
odd.
surprising change.
Yeah, very surprising indeed. And we're going to have to see how that one plays out for sure. But we've also had some throwing knife now does solar damage.
Finally, I can hear Holtzman right now just praising the heavens. Yeah. That's something we've been waiting for a very long time.
And we're going to be feeling that when we've got solar burns for heroic strikes and on nightfalls and whatnot. That's definitely going to be a welcome change. Blink has also been mentioned. It will be adjusted in the next update, but no details were actually mentioned. We could only speculate on the video footage that we saw, and I didn't really pick up anything apart from maybe you were able to draw your weapon a little quicker after Blink. Faster. I'm not too sure though. I don't know whether that's just in my imagination or whatever. So I'm going to be looking forward to checking that out for sure. We've had some changes to Warlocks as well, haven't we?
Did we? Sad about it.
What have we had?
Well, my baby Stormcallers. The party couldn't last forever. They have reduced the Stormcaller melee range for Thunderstrike. Now, they didn't really explain too much here. I don't know if Blink Strike, I don't know if that's going to affect the ability. I think it's called Amplitude that increases your melee range. Yep. I think they're just talking about the base melee range for Stormcallers, which was a little bit further out than Voidwalkers and Sunsingers. They said they're going to be bringing it to be more in line with those other Warlock classes. Yep. Hopefully Amplitude is still going to be a viable strategy, but I'm not going to be able to cross-map anybody with my shocky fingers anytime soon.
Yeah, this was kind of predictable, but Juggernaut disables quicker in mid-air, and Juggernaut can no longer be activated in mid-air. Now
the double whammy. You can still have Juggernaut while in the air. It's just going to run out much faster. You have to make your way back to touching the ground to build your Juggernaut shield back up. That's going to be a huge change for a lot of Titans playstyles. You're going to have to be a lot quicker with your shotguns. And
the high risk, high reward gameplay has basically been restored in that respect. Before it was a bit of a low risk, high reward, and now the scale seems to have been balanced a little bit there. So looking forward to trying
Balance
that one out.
Balance is good.
Yes. Yeah. Exotic changes we've got finally on the list at the moment. Now, the first up on this list, we don't have lists of everything, but these are the ones that were covered during the reveal stream. We've got some changes to Universal Remote, precision damage only active when aiming down sights. Now
because like we mentioned before, Universal Remote, when you ADS, it basically becomes a slug round.
Yep.
And so you can get precision damage like that.
Aye. And what's next on the list? TBL, what we got?
Truth. Truth will be adjusted in the next update, but they didn't really mention anything about it. Now, this worries me because I can't imagine them buffing Truth in any way. No. And if they're not going to be buffing Truth in any way,
it's going to be a nerf.
They're going to be nerfing it. And if I were to take a wild guess, again, we have no information about what Bungie's going to be doing with Truth. If you were to just ask my opinion, I'd say they're probably going to knock down its blast radius a little bit.
Really? I would have said maybe now, the tracking perhaps.
The tracking?
Less aggressive maybe, but I don't know. I mean, this is just stabs in the dark, that been as it's been.
We have no information about it.
A lot of details have been held back for the patch notes, which should be released quite soon, I'm hoping. Have we got any information
Hopefully
on that?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
We didn't get any information on when the patch notes themselves are coming out. I'm hoping that we're going to be getting our first look at them in tomorrow's This Week at Bungie.
There's lots of stuff that we've held back. We've literally been holding back throughout this whole dual commentary here because we can't talk about everything we want to talk about, could we really, when we're going to be really chewing this over like hell with the rest of the lads on Sunday at the podcast. When's that going to be happening and where does it happen?
That is going to be happening on Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time over on the Planet Destiny Twitch page, as per the usual. Hopefully we're going to have a lot of stuff to discuss.
It's going to be good, man. It's going to be a long one, I think. We're going to be in for the whole.
Oh, yeah.
I recommend everyone to bring their thermos flasks. Also make a nice lunchbox with sandwiches and maybe some candies and fruit if that's your thing as well. But yeah, there we go then. So that's goodbye from myself, Story Machine, and goodbye from the Black Link.
Take it easy.
Yep, and we'll see you again on Sunday at the podcast. All right then, guys, take care of yourselves and each other.